Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think the round won it. Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano. Using the ropes, the stadium. Smile from Manny Pacquiao. Oh, counter
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that be joining me on archive. Ever listen on archive, leave a comment down there in the comment section. Let us know what you think of the show. Also, hit that like button. To those joining us live from the A-Rod, Mike from Boston, Matt H, Puerto Rican Rum, HLD. How's it going? Hit that like button. Share this video on all your social media platforms. This is the 64th edition of the Hispanics Causin Panic Podcast. All right. For those that follow me on Twitter and Instagram, by the way, D-Style Boxing as well. The scheduled guest has been canceled due to the guest not being able to make it. However, the show does go on. All right. The show goes on. What's going on, Chief Funky? How's it going, brother?
Man, it's going good, bro. I'm still pumped off of the Monday night show. You know, we brought the house down, so I'm ready to roll tonight too, man. We got some interesting topics to touch on tonight.
Right, absolutely. My Manny Gatillo in the building. What's going on, everybody? Hey, man, a lot to talk about. Hit my like button. A lot to talk about. The first thing I want to touch on is this, okay? Oscar De La Hoya came out, G-Funky. Oscar De La Hoya had an interview, you know, and he was talking about how a couple of things you might agree with, some you might not. But the first thing he said was, you know, he was asked about Canelo. Is he being serious about Canelo? And he literally said, when he was speaking to the media, he said, yeah, I'm very serious. Look, Canelo, I mean, he's strong. He's strong like an ox. You know, he's like a Ricardo Mayorga, you know. But guys like me and Floyd, we're just at a whole nother level. I'm at a whole nother level to a Canelo who's like a Mayorga. Bro, he compared Saul Canelo Alvarez to Ricardo Mayorga, brother. What's your reaction to that?
Man, that's definitely some peculiar comments there.
Something like
that. from Oscar the Golden Boy De La Hoya. I mean, I don't really know what to say at this point, you know.
Haterade? Is it the haterade?
Man, he's hating big time, man. You know, I mean, we all know that they had a bad, end at Golden Boy Canelo in his contract, but Oscar is taking it to like weird places. You know, he's saying this guy is sloppy. You know, he can't really fight that well, and then making videos where he's saying, "I'm gonna knock your fucking ass out." Now he's compared him to Ricardo Mayorga, who, I mean, you know, Mayorga did his thing for a little bit, you know, had a couple of good wins in his career, but he's definitely not like a Mayorga, that's for sure. Not even close. He's just talking shit, you know, and I honestly don't know what this does for Oscar, what it does for Golden Boy at this point, you know. Just continue to promote your fighters, man. You have a fight coming up. Train. I mean, I know he said he wants to make the greatest comeback ever. and he said he wants to call out Floyd Mayweather. I don't know, man. To me, it sounds like he's trying to call out Canelo more than Mayweather. You know, he keeps taking these shots at Canelo. I mean, Canelo's. I don't think he's going to take the bait and say, "Well, step into the ring with me, and I'll show you that I'm better than Mayorga," or something like that. You know, I think he's just blowing smoke right now. But it is definitely getting into the weird territory. You know, I just don't understand what he's trying to accomplish with these things.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to say either. Now, he did say something else as well, and here's what he said. This is what he said, G-Funk. He said, you know what? Today's fighters are not as dedicated as us. And again, he brought his name up and Floyd's name. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I do agree a little bit with it. You know, I mean, fighters definitely aren't the same as they used to be, but again, more sour grapes from Oscar, man. Just get over it, man. Look, Canelo outgrew you. He didn't need you anymore. You know, he's out doing his own thing now. He's promoting his own fighters, doing his own cards and stuff like that. So just get over it, Oscar. All right, it's over, man. You guys had a hell of a run. You know, you did make a big star out of Canelo. So be proud of that, man. And just move on and promote your fight with Vitor Belfort. You know, that's what you really should be concentrating on, because that's a big dude, and you can fuck around and get really hurt with that guy. You know, Oscar's been out of the ring a long time, man. So he better be taking that fight serious and stop trying to take shots at Canelo Alvarez.
Absolutely. What's going on, Ness? How you doing, brother?
What up? What's going on?
Hey, man, thank you for coming on, like short notice and everything, brother. I just wanted to go ahead and bring you on here. But before we get to the next topic, I just want to ask you really quick, what do you make of Oscar De La Hoya coming out and basically comparing Canelo, who many consider the best pound for pound in the sport, at least up there, to a Ricardo Mayorga? What do you make of that?
Come on, man. This dude's a hater. Mayorga?
That's what he said, bro. He compared it to he did say, he's big, he's strong like an ox, but very limited, he said.
What's the context, though?
He was being asked. First of all, I don't know if he could defend any context behind that. You know what I mean? That's basically how he meant it, brother. That's how he said it.
Yeah, no, he's just hating, man. You know, Oscar. He lost the cash cow. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the bottom line. He lost the cash cow. He's sour grapes. He's got to work again. He's the definition of a dude that, has to go back to work. He's literally has to go back to fight to save Golden Boy.
Absolutely.
Sure seems that way. You know, him and Floyd, I just don't understand. These guys have made so much money in their boxing careers. Like there should be no need for these guys to get back in the ring. None. Zero. You know?
How about Oscar? He's just trying to open up a new television, though. There's heavy rumors that Golden Boy would or should be ending up on Triller. So I think that this fight with the MMA dude you speak of is just the necessary evil to open that door up. He no longer has Canelo to do that, right? So like Rocky Fielding and Canelo was the carrot, so to speak, for DAZN to get the deal, but Golden Boy used that to get 11 dates. They no longer have. They have Ryan. They still have Ryan, who's unproven like a mom.
Yeah, and they still got Ryan. Ortiz at 47, who I think is going to be a star too. So he's got some tools to work with, man. But he's too busy playing with the booger sugar. That's his problem.
They gotta send me a check, man. I just got Ortiz the biggest fight of his career. All they got to do is beat Velasquez and send Danny a significant offer. Garcia would take the fight, even in San Diego.
Danny Garcia, huh? Okay.
That's a really good fight. I'm on board.
Dropping, I don't know when it'll drop. These guys, even my own editor, they publish things the way they want, and Fighthype publishes it the way they want. But I spoke with Danny yesterday. I let him know about Verge, and he obviously he's like, he needs a win. So I said, well, he's got to fight with Cain Velasquez. Is that big enough? And while he didn't say it was big enough, he did say he understands that it's a Mexico, Puerto Rico, and that Virgil has, a bit of a fan base in Texas. So it can make some financial sense for them to, fight.
That's a great fight, man.
Wow. It's a really good fight. Hey, shout out to people in the chat, by the way. Puerto Rican Rum, Ignorant Boxing, The Fight Doctor, No Paul Boxianos. I want to play this, and then we'll talk about this really quick.
What do you mean? What you going to learn from a nigga that you knocked out?
All trainers ain't world champions.
What are you going to learn from somebody? How is somebody going to teach you something that he couldn't even do either?
Because
you heard what Tyson Fury said?
All trainers.
He said I busted. He said I broke your eyeball and broke your eyeball. Eardrum and your eardrum. He said this shit is a chain reaction. He said, how you gonna teach me to do something that you can't even do?
But some trainers are better trainers than fighters.
That is not happening. The pad don't hit back.
I'm saying.
Now, I'm saying too.
He looking good though.
I'm saying too. The pad's not hitting back.
I mean, everybody looks
good on pad.
I could look like I want to
Floyd Mayweather. Come on, run it. Come here. Tone, right here. I want to know. We gotta ask Wilder. And then he said Tyson Fury had something in his gloves because nah, son. Too much. Then the outfit. Like, it's too much excuses. Like, what, the outfit made more than you? The shit weighed more than you? Even if the outfit.
Well, there we go. That's some of you guys can catch that on Fighthype here on the YouTube channel. And the interview was done by some dude called Nestor Gibbs. He's right here. Hey, what's going on, brother? So, interesting interview. You happen to break the internet there, but nonetheless.
I mean, it didn't really, man. I thought it would do more numbers than what it
just started. It's just
well, we'll see. We'll see. He is, first and foremost, I want to say, G Funky, I know this is not the right time, but your mic sounds amazing. Shout out to you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
That thing is
right.
I love it. But Chris is Chris, man. This is nothing new. When the first fight came, his prediction was that way, and then the first fight happened. Second fight came, his prediction was the same way. It's just his voice is being heard now by more people because of the deal that I'm doing with Fighthype, and the video is there, and more people can hear it. But this has always been him. He's always picked against Wilder. That's why in the video, not against Wilder, just in the Fury fight. Mm-hmm. And that's why in the video he says, that Wilder stopped talking to him. So, it is what it is. These are very personal matters for these guys. A lot of ego and stuff involved. I've learned that throughout the years that these fighters are so fucking sensitive. It's insane to me.
That's crazy, man. In a sport like this, you can't be sensitive, man.
Mr. Munguia, how's it going, brother?
What's going on, fellas? Thank you for having me on.
What's going on, Mario?
I'm good, brother. Thank y'all. D-Style, man, it's good to talk to you. Man, how long we known each other? You've been on like 8 years. I've known you, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe not that long. Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, glad to have you on, man. You probably already talked about this, but for the sake of my audience here, what did you make about Chris Colbert and what that interview he did with Nestor Gibbs?
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, I mean, we did go over a couple of the, like major headlines. What was one of the things specifically that I could go off of?
Okay, so how about the fact that he does not believe, Wilder can beat Fury?
Oh yeah, that was a big item line,
and he's not impressed with the pad work for sure.
He was going hard. Pass, don't hit that. No.
Yeah, no, and listen, he's a guy who's been on the show a bunch of times. Like, he's very animated and he speaks his mind. He's very open. And here's the thing, I believe him in everything he says. Here's the thing, like, I believe that just based off of my own opinions, right? But I believe that he believes that. Like, I don't think that he's lying. I don't think that he's exaggerating. I think that he's speaking openly and honestly about if this was a court of law and he was a lawyer, I think that he has the most substantiated evidence to back his claims up. Now, the fact that it was him that said it, I think that's what's newsworthy about it. I think that, it's just not something that I think anybody would have expected for him to say. But the fact that he said it, and again, that he has that kind of evidence to back it up, it's just, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Hey, Chief Funky, what did you make of it, bro? From what you heard right there.
Oh, man. I mean, I agree with what he's saying, 100%. Now, as far as the little personal jabs at Deontay Wilder, that's obviously something between him and Wilder. That's none of my business. That's between those two, whatever it is. But I do agree. I don't think he can beat Fury in the third fight. I picked Wilder twice to knock Fury out. I was wrong 2 times.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be fooled again. Okay. Shout out to the Who. They won't get fooled again. But yeah, man, I just see a lot of backlash coming from this, unfortunately. You can't speak your mind these days. When you say something that, I'm already hearing a hashtag. I could already see it right now. Hashtag cancel Colbert. These guys are going to go at him so hard. And that's a shame, because he's a brilliant young fighter. I really like what I see in this kid. And he's going to get a lot of backlash for this. But, it's just the times we're living in, man. It sucks. But I said this last night. We talked about a few topics. A hard truth is better than a sweet lie, and it's better to just break the truth down to somebody than to just bullshit them their whole life. Candy coat shit, So shout out to the young man for being honest and speaking his real thoughts, man.
Yeah. Hey. And that's hard in this day and age, there'll be more to that excuse me, to that interview, and I don't know if it'll get put out, but he says something to Danny like, "You're an Al Heyman boy." And not boy.
Damn.
Yeah, but not boy. See, I want to clarify that. Not boy in the sense of like, oh, you're a son, or you're
like demeaning.
Yeah, not demeaning.
Like not demeaning.
More like Al takes care of you. Okay. So like he's basically saying like, I won't get that Tank fight because I'm not an Al Heyman boy. With Al Heyman, but I'm not an Al Heyman boy. Like Gary Russell was an Al Heyman boy. 8-round fight, HBO. That's an Al Heyman boy. Lose a title fight, get you another vacant title fight. That's an Al Heyman boy. You know what I'm saying? So, a little different. But it doesn't mean boy. Don't take it and run with it that way. But he did say that. But I don't think he meant it that way. I just think he meant he isn't favored amongst the other signed Al Heyman fighters.
So let me ask you this: why not? Like, what is it about Colbert that doesn't make him an Al Heyman favorite?
I mean, if we're gonna keep it in context with Danny, he's not Puerto Rican. He doesn't have a country that loves boxing and pays for it. You can start there. You know what I'm saying? That's the first place to start. He doesn't have the following of Danny Garcia. He has more personality than Danny, but he's gonna need some time to for the world to see that.
But it's definitely this too, though, right? It's definitely the fact that he is outspoken and that it, you know what I mean? It's like a hard thing to have everybody under the same page, under the same roof, like all the talking points the same, and then not be able to trust whether a guy is going to go off script.
Well, I mean, will Chris go off script? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going to be tied down, I don't think, ever, but that's also good. That's why I drove, 500 miles damn near round trip, because I respect it. He was supposed to fight Gamboa. That opponent pulls out. Normally when an opponent pulls out, you get a lesser opponent. He got a tough opponent, a quote-unquote puncher. So I was nervous because Chris, I've been knowing him since in the amateurs. When I met him, he had titles. He was literally not even a pro, not even thinking well, he was always thinking of turning pro, but not even near turning pro. And I'm invested. So it's like, oh shit, he's fighting Numbauer. This guy's a puncher. Damn. And then I get there and he's not even worried. So now I'm more invested in the fight because I'm expecting a knockout. The way you talking about Numbauer too small. He a puncher at the lower weight. I'm like, bro, it's only 4 pounds. You acting like, that's a big weight difference. But he's talking so cocky that I want to see greatness now because you have raised the bar. And in the same interview, you said you could beat Tank. So you got to show us that you can beat Numbauer.
I do think he'll beat King Tug, as they call him. I think he'll be able to get that win. But then, where does that leave Gary Russell? Because Gary Russell hasn't done anything. Isn't that was his last fight, right? He hasn't fought since then, right?
No, that was the last one.
I can't remember the last time Russell fought, man. It's been that long.
Jesus Christ, that dude. Man, they're gonna need DW40 for that guy. He's gonna be so rusty. But he look, I think Colbert should win that fight, but I do agree. He not only has to win, I think he needs to win in impressive fashion. He needs to win it he needs to make a statement. Chief Funky, will he make a statement in this fight?
Absolutely, 100% he will. This kid's all about the show. I like it. He likes to pattern his style. I shouldn't say style, but like he's cocky and flamboyant, like Deion Sanders, where he calls himself the prime time. Deion was one of my favorite players. Won a Super Bowl here with my Dallas Cowboys. So I like that already. But the kid brings entertainment. And that's always good for the sport, man. Even a guy like Gervonta Davis who just fought last weekend. He's exciting. A lot of people are calling him the best show in boxing. And, I don't have an issue with that. He is very entertaining. And I think we can say the same about Colbert too. I think he's a very good fighter, likes to put on a show. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him fight his next fight. And I think it's going to be really, really good, man. He should get this guy out of there in dramatic fashion, I think.
I think if we get behind him early, we won't have an Andre situation on our hands. Here we have a guy with all the talent in the world. If you do a Google search in YouTube, what you'll get is numerous videos comparing him to Floyd, asking is he the next Floyd. You don't want to see this kid in an Andre situation where, Shakur doesn't want to fight him. Tank doesn't want to fight him. Valdez doesn't want to fight him. Leo doesn't want to fight him, and he's stuck fighting these secondary champions and things like that. So I'm hoping that people do get behind a guy like that has the personality and has the balls, right? If you look through his record, who's in 15 fights, even if you compare Shakur, I hate to always bring up Shakur as he's a native of my, city. But Joet Gonzalez and Pitufo, Christopher Diaz, that's it. You go through Christopher Colbert's resume, he's got about 4 undefeated fighters, 1 former world champion. He was going to get Gamboa. Now he's taking on Numbauer with 1 loss. Austin Dulé, he's got names on there. And he's been doing it from the very beginning, where prospects are usually brought up and coddled. So I'm really excited to see them get behind him. I don't know that they would though.
I want to say something real quick.
Well, really quick. What rep it? Thank you for the super chat, brother. He said thought on Morrell and Casares getting $2 million. I think that's great. I think the fact that boxing fans for free, and not just boxing fans, casual people just watching TV got to see probably the fight of the year and then followed by the knockout of the year. I think it was great for boxing. I think it was a hell of a knockout. So, hey,
I just don't know who the hell is Casares. Who was that? Did y'all know him before that day?
He was the guy that
knew
made
him as
Chavez
the guy.
Quit,
yeah, like he was known as the guy that made Chavez quit. But apparently, like beating Chavez doesn't mean anything anymore because you know what I mean. Like so that
wait, he beat Chavez in a boxing match.
Yeah,
they were dude. It was actually a competitive fight, right? And then after like 5-6 rounds, Chavez just decided to quit. Like, I'm done. God. No, Chavez Jr.
Chavez Jr., brother, the one that lost to Anderson Silva, brother. That one.
Yeah.
When that happened.
That was a couple months ago. It was a couple months ago.
I want to say it was like late last year.
Hey, Casada was
I think it
calling
was
out
September.
Canelo.
I think it was September.
Yeah, it was when Senior fought Arce. They fought in that exhibition.
It was off TV.
Yeah, it was September. No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
on TV.
It was on the zone. I saw it
It
on
was
the
on the
zone.
zone, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
on
I
the
saw it on the
zone.
zone.
What? Oh,
Yeah, it was on.
I didn't know.
Bro, I told you to watch it too. Like I told you several times.
Bruh, listen, yo, shout out to them. They did 2 million views, man. That's what I'm saying about Caleb. Caleb is in a good position. Hopefully, he take that. Wait till y'all hear what. Oh my God, you think Chris Colbert went hard on Deontay?
Uh-oh.
Oh, tell us.
Murdered Caleb.
What? What did he say? Oh,
He's gonna drop a bomb on us.
Like, yo, I'm
Tell him.
gonna call my boy and tell him don't take that fight.
What? That's what he said.
They gonna call Caleb and tell him don't take the Canelo fight.
Yo, this dude. Oh man, he's too real for this sport.
do that,
he's
man.
too real for this sport.
Yeah, he's animated about that answer. Let me tell you, he's going hard on Caleb. Like, yo, so I bring up Ustadigi, like, yo, but people doubted Ustadigi because he's saying Canelo got too much power for Caleb. I'm like, bro, but we thought that about Ustadigi, and he dropped him twice. Yo, he literally pulled up the fight. Like, look at his face. Look at his face. Yo, I was like,
Damn.
Oh man,
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Somebody put in the chat. Ivy said Colbert won't be getting pushed by the black fight fans. Do you guys think that's true, or is it only going to be a segment of the?
I mean,
like,
look, there's gonna be some hatred. Obviously, he's saying some things about a very adored fighter amongst the African American community, so he will get some resistance, absolutely, and he knows that. He has to know that. You can't say what you said and not expect people to react.
But the thing is, though, is that it's like the genius of it, right? Because ultimately and I mean, obviously, I can't speak for, the entirety of the black fight community, but I can say that they respect their fighters that are honest and open. You know what I mean? That don't bullshit them. And here's a guy who's giving his honest take, and it might not work right now. It might get some backlash now, but down the line, after some things have played out, right? Like, you go back and you reflect on it. Like, he's always been honest. He's always been the truth. He's always been a guy that you can get behind and know what you're getting behind. Exactly. Because some guys, you get behind them, I'm not going to name any names, but like a Ryan. Oh, I guess I just named a name. You know what I mean? Like, you get behind him, and then it's like, oh, he's pulling out of this fight. And you know what I mean? The innuendo surrounded. It's like, that wasn't what I was paying for, with this guy. But with a guy like Colbert, you get what you pay for, and you understand it. And that kind of honesty, I think, resonates ultimately more than anything else. And let's also remember, he's lost in that shuffle. If you're a fight fan, like, he's a hardcore guy still a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the Spences, the Wilders, these guys have transcended into the upper echelon of the sport. You know what I mean? And the finances of it all that commercially speaking, right? Colbert's still not there yet. So it's also that.
Well, it's the rawness of it too. It's one thing if he would have said, look, I don't know. I just think Wilder should focus on the fight and not make excuses. And I don't think Fury cheated, but may the best man win. It's not like he said that. You know what I mean?
No,
I mean,
bro.
He said he's looking like a sucker. You know what I mean? He said this dude's making excuses. You know what I mean? He said that he can't beat Fury. Like he made some very matter-of-fact statements, made him sound that way, that I don't think a lot of Wilder fans, I should say, are going to like that. But
if you go to the comments, and you should, we can screen share those if you have the ability, because it looks like people are like, anyway, let's see let's see the reaction. Let's see the reaction, because I did go through them earlier since it was my interview, and
like, you just want to screen share the comments?
I see that. You don't have to. You can just pick one here, read them. I don't know, because I've seen a lot of people like, oh, we'll see if you have that same energy on fight night. So like, basically, I just want to say that, because it's like, instead of there's people that think that he's already going to get alienated, but there's also obviously the fandom that wants to prove him wrong.
Yeah, well, there's a good amount of us out here that will still support him because, I mean, there's a lot of us that just don't believe these claims that Wilder is making. So, he'll gain some fans from that as well. It's gotten ugly though with the Wilder fanatics. You say any little thing about this guy and they'll come after you. It's gotten ugly. I mean, look what happened with him and Charlo. Jermell Charlo, they started talking violence. I got shooters and all this and that. I mean, that was bad. That's just ugly, man. That's just flat out ugly, and shouldn't be. It should never get to that point. We're just talking boxing. It should never get to that point.
I've seen a lot of people saying like, finally, someone being honest. I love this interview. I love this kid. So there's gonna be some hate, but he got a lot of people there that's like, finally. Look, been a fan of Colbert. His honesty is refreshing. Like, some people gonna hate it, but some people.
Well, the one right above that, though. I always see Wilder's most haters look like us, so we dismiss Fury as a known cheater.
And look at the one below. A few lines below, it says it's a shame we, a fellow countryman, can't support their own regardless of past, and Fury couldn't do none with a journeyman. But this is what I'm saying. See, they want you to. Like, let's ignore everything because Wilder looks like us. That's not even right.
That's weak. That's weak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Weak.
Yeah, that's tough logic to get behind.
Yes.
For sure. Apparently somebody thinks your panties were in a bunch, Ness.
Where's that one at? I saw it at the very top. Yeah.
If you look, they say the interview, they were saying that I was defending Wilder. I'm playing devil's advocate. Like,
right.
You have to give the opposite side, and they, again, dealing with that topic, you are going to, get in trouble. Look, the dude literally doesn't even talk to me anymore, and they're saying the interview swinging around Wilder's nuts. What the fuck?
Yeah. but there is a lot of I do see a lot of A's keeping it real. I'm seeing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So am I.
So the real one is damn hilarious. So I think I see more of that more than anything. You know what I mean? So
give it time.
Check it out, man. So
give it time.
A lot of
no, you're right.
No,
you're right. You said it earlier too. It's hard to. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, D.
No, I was just saying a lot of people attacking the interviewer, but that's normal, So
of course, yeah. It wouldn't be YouTube if it wasn't, right?
Right.
But you see, that's my goal. I got a lot of resistance for doing that deal. A lot of people had an opinion, and that is the goal of the deal. Is for my interviews to cause headlines,
to get the traction that you're looking for.
Yeah,
that they've always deserved. To be honest with you,
no one wants to drive or plan and put in all this time to go see the fighter and then get 62 views. No, I want you to know what he said. And honestly, this is old. I did this in front of the Brooklyn Projects 3 years ago when he fought Fury the first time. You know what I mean? It's just that obviously, 1 million subscribers is 1 million subscribers, and they're hard fight fans, over there. So I in my own head, I was in competition with Fighthype a long time, and you just gotta understand they are a monster of a platform, and it's gonna get the word out, and it's you guys all watch football, baseball, all that shit. This is the only sport I literally watch. So, while you're watching your Super Bowl, I can be doing an interview or something. So I say that to say, I want Colbert to get as many views as he can possibly get. I don't want to be greedy based for my financial gain. I want him to do 1 million views, whether it's my channel, your channel, Fighthype's. It don't matter to me because this is the sport I love. I need him to grow. I want that Tank fight. He believes he can win. He has the balls. Like, when have we gotten someone that says they want to fight Shakur? They want to fight Devin Haney. They want to fight Tank. Like, we don't have that. Ryan wants to fucking go model, and you know he wants to fight Javier, but he doesn't fight Javier. He wants to fight Pacquiao, but he ain't fighting Pacquiao. He was fighting Tank, it ain't Tank. Who's he fighting? Tio fighting Camboso instead of being real undisputed. Gets mad at you if you say he's unified, which he is. You know he doesn't have the WBC. It's not on BoxRec. He didn't fight for one. It's not on BoxRec. It doesn't say he fought for a WBC. Yeah, they gave him some version of that belt, but it's not listed. He's not an undisputed champ. It is disputed that you're undisputed. Stop getting mad at me. You understand?
That's fair, but you know, I don't know if Teofimo Lopez is the best example. Was a guy that's not fighting guys, though. You know what I mean? Just because if you go from Nakatani to Comey to
I totally agree.
Loma, right.
I agree with you. He deserves the Cambroso vacation, like any fighter that's been through the ringer. He absolutely.
And that's a terrible vacation too. It's not like a great vacation.
Yeah, it's not like an easy walk in the park with Cambroso. So I wanted that fight. I really did. I didn't mind. I told Devin Haney's father to his face, listen, that man fought Loma and beat Loma. He deserves to fight Cambroso. He doesn't have to jump right in the ring with you. But next, yeah, I would love to see that next.
Yeah, I think that, you know, hopefully the stamp fight happens soon with Cambosos. It's taking forever to get that fight done.
I know.
You know, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going to happen next. And it's in Florida, bro. Like, there might be a hurricane the week of the fight. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just want to say, I hope that, you know, I think, again, I'm not the biggest guy when it comes to the business of the sport. I'm just a fan. All I care about is fighter A versus fighter B. But from my understanding, it sounds like Haney is a free agent. So it's possible we could get that Lopez fight, because I would much rather see Teofimo fight Devin Haney than to rematch Lomachenko, what they're talking about. I'd much rather see that fight.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I don't want to burst the bubble, but man, we talked to Bill, and it was just like the writing's on the wall. Like they're not there's, and they have no reason to not want to stay with Matchroom. Like they don't have any reason to really want to leave the zone. Like they treated them right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you said that better than anything. The financials of it all. You know, so.
Yep.
Hey, Mario, I wanted to ask you two questions here because we had finished talking about these two things when you came on. One, what do you make of Oscar De La Hoya saying that Canelo is just a big, strong dude, like just like Mayorga, and that's it? Like, what do you make about that?
I think that sour grapes and jealous, like they're never a flattering color on anybody. You know what I mean? Like Oscar is one of like the guys that I grew up idolizing. Like I'm super into his comeback. Like I'm realistic about it, and I understand what this is. But ultimately, like, it's just a cool night for me and my family. You know what I'm saying? Who grew up. Like, I have vivid childhood memories, but he's just joking himself. And, like, obviously he wouldn't be saying this if, you know, Canelo's still with it. Like, it's just a thing where it's starting to seem desperate. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do it once. Okay, you know, yes, pathetic. It's like you want to promote your fight and you know that's going to get more headlines than your fight. You know, okay, I understand. But to keep doing this and pushing this envelope, like, we don't believe you. You need more people. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke, honestly.
And then also, how do you think the King Tug fight will go for him against Colbert? How do you think that's going to go?
I think he is going to make a statement. I think he's going to make a statement against Tug because he needs to. This is a guy who he rises to the competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe Colbert has it in his arsenal to get the job done. And here's the thing is the job is just to get him out of there before 12. That's it. You know, we know what happened with the Gary Russell fight, and outperforming that, even though that shouldn't be the way we look at it. And it's not how I look at it, but it is, you know, it is what it is. That's how people perceive it. It's like, well, fighter A got this fighter out and fighter B didn't. Well, then fighter A, you know what I mean? And that's how you still the narrative. That's how you reconcile the fact that you're not getting the O. You know, you're not taking his O, but at least you can make a statement by putting an exclamation mark at the end of the fight.
Cool. Hey, but before I want to thank both of you, man, for coming on, taking the time to come on here. Hispanics causing panic. Everybody watching live, hit the like button. I have one more question.
Actually, are all Hispanic.
That's right,
A lot of
baby.
panic being caused over here. That's for sure. You know? I want to show this image, and I want to kind of have a brief discussion on this. So I feel like a lot of Tank fans are acting like he beat Chavez this last weekend or something. I think a lot of his haters are acting like he beat a bum. And to me, he beat a solid fighter. You know, he's all right. You know, he beat somebody who we should get some credit for, but how much credit is the debate? You know, let's start with you, Mario. What did you make about his victory, and how do you rate it? You know,
I definitely rate it. I rate it. Here's the thing. I had pushed this fight as a true test because I felt the narrative was always going to be that this was a walk in the park, that this was nobody. And I should, preface all this by saying that, I am from Corpus Christi, which is very close to San Antonio. I have covered Mario for a very long time. The thing is that I know what he represented. He represented a top 10 in the 140-pound division because you go look at the names in that division. It's not as deep as some people remember it. Mario was a top 10 in that division. Any fighter at those weight classes to move up like that and beat a guy in the top 10, forget about the belt, forget what it really was. That is what's impressive to me. Is a great opposition win, but let's be honest, it was not a marquee victory by any such. So again, I think that you said it best, where let's keep this in perspective.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Ness?
Definitely not a marquee victory in terms of the traditional sense. Like, no name. He's not a marquee name, but I think that what he done has to be respected. Again, who knows when this portion of the interview comes out, but even Colbert, who's in the 130 division where Tank is really a champion at with a super belt. And there are some killers there. You got Valdez, you got Shakur, you got Colbert and Tank, and others that you can find, but that's the top. Even Colbert believes that what Tank did is special because he believes Shakur can do it, but it will be boring. He thinks Valdez can't do it because he's not skilled enough. And he says he wouldn't do it because he's not dumb enough to move up 2 divisions when he doesn't need to. So I do think what Tank done is special, and only 2 people done it: Canelo beating Fielding and Tank beating Barrios. And regardless of the meme, Barrios was a better champion to me than Fielding, but it's arguable that Fielding got the bigger win by going to another country in Germany, beating Zugi, and becoming a regular champion, whereas Barrios probably lost his title on American soil and got the Al Heyman gift. So
Very true.
It's funny how my Canelo haters will be like, oh, he beat Fielding. Who the hell's Fielding? But now they're turning around glorifying Barrios, who really biggest win is Ryan Carl. I can never say it all at once, but Ryan
Cowboy Carl.
Try to say
It
that.
wasn't the Akhmadov win? That wasn't better?
Well, Ahmedov, but even though I don't think he won that fight, but
That's exactly. That's the point.
He won that fight. At least Fielding didn't have that. Fielding got a upset win,
definitive
on foreign soil, and
right.
bum. Like, he still gets called the bum. Listen, fellas, I've been just holding this not to disrespect your show, but I'm gonna smoke. Is it okay?
No, go ahead. Do what you got to do, brother. Do what you got to do. Now, obviously, the way I feel about it, before I ask you, because we've spoken about it, but just real briefly, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, I get what you're saying, Ness. Like, oh, he's only you said third guy to do it. Like, guys used to do it all the time. There just wasn't a weight class in between, right? So like when Robinson moved up from 147 to middleweight, there was no junior middleweight back then. You know what I mean? Good call. So like, yeah. Like when Armstrong went up 3 divisions, it was featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight.
Oh, I thought it was more than that. Wow. So it was featherweight, lightweight, welterweight. He was the champion in all 3 divisions when there was only 8 weight classes, and one of them was vacant. So he had almost half of all the belts in the planet, right? So I get it. So I'm just not ready to compare him to Armstrong. I think that's like I'm not saying you did that. I'm just saying that's something I've been seeing that I think it's a little bit of a stretch. So good win for Tank. Of course, there's going to be obstacles, and it's going to be like
a good big guy could beat a great little guy if the size is enough of a factor, right? So there was that unknown, but I just think that in this case, solid win for Tank, good win for Tank, but I think some people are going overboard by saying he did something amazing when I personally don't think it was amazing.
He did, champ. He did. The thing is that you wasn't there. It's more than the opponent. Again, I'm a purist, but not in the traditional sense. I feel like purists are hipsters. I'm a purist in the sense that I want what's best for the sport, and Tank is what's best, brother. He is out here putting asses in seats by the hundreds, and they are spending big money. It's big time celebrities. Now, it might not be our world, ain't no J Balvin's and Anuel show up to that fight, but everybody else who's in the hip hop world, sure enough, did. He opened up his own market. We've been begging Al Heyman to put Deontay Wilder over there. Why didn't he? We don't know. We don't know, but obviously they have the analytics. Tank was the chosen one. Every day that name becomes more real. He really is the one. Listen, cool. It's only Barrios.
Yeah.
Your meme says an eye fighter, but he destroyed him. Bro, that right hook bodied him. That right
I wouldn't
hook,
say destroyed. That's a strong word. Mario looked good early in the fight.
The fact that people think Mario was winning rounds, listen, that was part of the plan. I'm walking you down. You gonna hit me. I got a plan to overwhelm you, right? You got a plan that you can't even use. Your plan became the minute the bell rung, stay the fuck away from Tank. Bro, he wasn't even right hands. Everything going over the top. Oh, come on, bro.
He was winning. He was winning the early. Even Floyd knew he was losing the early round.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
Floyd over exaggerating ass. If you don't go sit his ass down and go fight Jake Paul or some shit, it's the thing, bro. Listen, Floyd. I think Mario said it on our show, bro. He was just interjecting himself. Homeboy came with like 50 chains. Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Bro.
What you want to do? You gonna promote? You gonna be a trainer? You can't.
No, he just got robbed. Like, what's wrong with that man? Like, you just got robbed. Like, a month ago?
Cool. That wasn't cool. They did that to Robert Garcia too. These
I know, man.
Balls, wait till you go on vacation or be at a fight to break it.
I know that shit. That's wrong.
I was gonna say, who we need at Tank's next fight so that Floyd won't be trying to hog the camera all the time is we need Suge Knight. Remember when he went at Puff Daddy? It was like, you wanna come over to a company where the executive producer's not all in the videos, all on the records. That's Floyd right there.
That was hilarious.
But why not just become Tank's second? I've seen Floyd in the corners before.
Yes,
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Because it would be disrespect to Kenny. That means Kenny got to step down to let Floyd be there. Or
can be the second? Like, he's already disrespecting him. He's already like, oh,
exactly.
Don't forget about him, hey, like.
But at least they sit there. They got the jackets. They there. If Floyd becomes one of them, someone got to go. You don't get to have 4 cornermen.
You know what I mean? They don't have to stop paying the person. Like, they don't have to stop letting him help. But at this point, it would be better. The perception is better for him to be in the ring if he's going to say anything at all. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that that's what should happen. I'm just saying what should no longer happen is Floyd approaching the ring and getting involved like that. There's just really no reason to do that.
Yeah, it's a bit much for me, but
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I just think he's concerned, bro. He's literally got a cash cow at his dispense. It's crazy. I guess you guys don't feel that way, but I give them so much credit in retrospect. I didn't believe all roads led to Tank. I laughed at that phrase, but all roads lead to Tank.
Look, I agree. He's a draw on this. He's a draw. He draws, and obviously he's selling out arenas, and it's good to see boxing with like a sold out crowd, people going crazy. Like if you remember the HBO days when they would just rent out a casino and a bunch of old people were there that didn't give a fuck about boxing. You know what I mean? All you heard was shh, 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 cash. Like, okay, brother, I want a crowd. You know what I mean? So that all that's good. But remember, I mean, Gennady Golovkin sold out Madison Square Garden and Staples Center. You know what I mean?
Got praised.
Nebraska was sold out by Crawford. He
got praised for it, but Tank is getting hate for doing it.
And they should all get praised. Don't get me wrong. But here's my question to you: what makes somebody the cash cow? Like, what's that? Like, being on pay-per-view doesn't necessarily make you a pay-per-view star. It depends how are you selling.
You don't got to be a pay-per-view star, and you can still be the cash cow. Remember, let's say he continues to do 250. Tank is rumored to make $5 million. Who making $5 million at that weight?
I want to give my opinion, if I could, real quickly about. Now, I agree with you, Ness. It's good, that fans are buying tickets. He's selling out arenas. That's great. I just wish that his fans would stay consistent when they talk shit about Canelo selling 73,000 in his last fight. But I'll say this, man, and this is just my opinion. I could be wrong again. I'm just a fan. I don't go to the fights, none of that stuff. But just from the feel that I've been getting from a lot of casuals who were calling me Saturday night, asking me who's fighting on pay-per-view. I kept hearing this. This is what I kept hearing from 3 different people that day. Is it Mayweather's guy fighting? Who's this guy that's with Mayweather? I think it's about 50-50 in my opinion. I think 50% of the fans that go to his fights and buy his fights are strictly Tank fans because they like the way he fights. They enjoy his fights because he goes for the knockout and he gets it most of the time. And another 50% are just old Mayweather fans that are just like, okay, this is the guy he's pushing next. That's just the way I feel about it.
I'll take it, bro. Funky.
I think that's what makes him the cash cow, though. Like that, like him having that Floyd influence, like it's huge. It was kind of like, like the way like a music producer will write this great song and it's a hit and everybody knows it's a hit. And you're just looking for the right person to fill those shoes to make it that hit. That's what Tank was. It was like, whoever Floyd backed in a real way, the way he's doing now, had a real shot at being the cash cow or the most lucrative at this point is what it really is. It's not like the Floyd days and the Pacquiao days where these guys were doing millions of buys and it was like, no, that's the guy. This is kind of like the guy above all the other guys. You know what I mean? That's really more accurate.
So what you guys are saying, just like you were talking about Al Heyman's boys, this is Floyd Mayweather's boy. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
And I think having that card Sunday, that PBC card, 2 million people watching, that's big. I mean, imagine if Tank did that one time. We might have another guy who sells 1 million pay-per-views again. Who knows? I feel like network television is not being utilized, man, at all at this point. And we don't have any stars right now. We don't have anybody that's selling 1 million pay-per-views right now in boxing, like Floyd did. Pacquiao did. Like
we got Logan Paul, brother.
We had Tyson. Yeah, we had Mike Tyson and Roy Jones come back and sell millions of pay-per-views. We don't have any current stars, man. It's because there's no exposure. Too many pay-per-views, in my opinion. Too many. And I think that this fight should have never been on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine this fight being on Showtime. It probably gets 1 million viewers right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of
what the Barrios fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it probably gets a lot of viewers, and then that'll make people want to buy that Tank fight.
Yeah, we need exposure, man. We need these guys to get exposure. 200,000 is not cutting it. I mean, it's just not.
So you guys want 1 million pay-per-views?
I want a bona fide star somewhere, man. Even Canelo's fighting on his own, so we don't have that anymore.
But you're saying that a bona fide star is only a star if he can sell over 1 million.
Not necessarily. I'm not saying
you got like guys like Cotto, who never. I mean, he was like the B-side when he did like millions or whatever. You know what I mean? But
never did it on his own.
No. Exactly. That's the point.
Never on his own.
He did 500,000 with Sir.
But he was a star. That's the point. Like I'm trying to make. It's not bona fide stars aren't just guys that sold 1 million because that's rarefied air. In our era, it because it was happening to 2 fighters, it kind of devalued it for a lot of people. Like, 1 million should be the benchmark. 1 million it's like it's the touchdown. Like that's what I'm saying. So these guys aren't going to do that. Like not right now.
1 million is a lot, man. You gotta be.
It's a lot.
And I feel like it should be
if you remember the Morales Pacquiao trilogy. I remember HBO would word it something like they sold 1 million combined, but it was like 3 fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But like, so you know.
That's what I'm saying. Floyd and Pacquiao, and more Floyd than Pacquiao, obviously, because Pacquiao, we started to see him not get above 1 million.
Right.
They just set these unrealistic standards, dude. Like, if we eliminate Floyd and Pacquiao, right, then you got Cotto at 500,000, and you know, Canelo could be in this conversation if you guys want or not, because he had Mayweather and Oscar. It's different. It's like Tank has right now Floyd as his, you know, endorser. He's the one pushing him. Canelo had that with Oscar, the Golden Boy, and then also got a Mayweather fight. So, you know, his stardom went to the next level. He had 2 legends in one sport basically on his resume, so to speak. So it's a little different. We don't
ask you this, Ness.
that now.
I want to ask you this, man, because again, you're out there with the people, you know, so you know a lot more than I do. But I feel like in today's world with technology, social media, all this stuff, like it should be pretty easy to build a star to get to that 1 million again. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about it, you know?
Yeah, I think not that you're wrong, bro, because I don't have the answer. I just think that illegal streaming is unstoppable.
Yeah, too much pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Great
Not
point.
doing it.
Not only that, dude, not only that, but Tank's knockout is all over IG. Like, why are you paying when the highlight is there in seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need the whole 12 rounds when he knocked them out on the 8th and it's like, or the 10th, and that's the only clip you need?
Yeah, that was all I seen. I didn't pay for it, man. I'm one of those guys that's a degenerate. You know, I'll pay for just about anything. I bought all the PBC pay-per-views last year, but I just said to myself, you know what? I said these fights are not worth pay-per-view. Like I missed that feeling when I was growing up, like when De La Hoya fought Trinidad. When he fought Mosley, when he fought Vargas, all those big fights that were pay-per-view. Like I miss waking up that Saturday morning with butterflies in my stomach, like the fucking fight is here. I can't believe it. It's the one fight we've been waiting to see for years. Like we just don't have that anymore, man. Like everything's pay-per-view now. Like it's watered down. It's not what it used to be, man. No more super fights. I can't stand it, you know?
Well, you got to understand, we don't have the budgets that we used to. I mean, only Eddie got the massive budget, you know, but what Showtime is giving, Espinosa's giving out like what, 28 million, something. It was something.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a total of 60 between both networks for 200 fighters. And a handful of those guys are fucking stars that, you know, at least you got to pay them 1 point something. So it's just,
which explains why we're getting them on pay-per-view.
exactly.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, it's the only way they can pay for them.
That's the point. It's the only way. Listen, the answer is for them to be bought out by DAZN. You know, people think I'm a PBC fanboy when, in fact, I'm a DAZN fanboy. PBC,
I'm a boxing fanboy.
They robbed me. PBC robbed me. No, I'm no longer a fan of PBC. They robbed me. I bought the Areola pay-per-view, showing support. And
I bought that one too.
Come on.
And I used their digital platform, and they robbed me from my fight. I should have it on catalog, like when I buy it through Showtime or I buy it through my cable provider. You know, the fact that I am renting the fight for fucking $80, they're tripping.
Yeah, that's garbage.
That being said, he doesn't even have the budget. With 2 networks, he's getting 60 million. You ain't got enough money. You can easily walk to DAZN, talk to this billionaire, and say, hey, you seen what I've been doing. You see what I can do. Cut up a little more money. You know, I'm getting 60 over there. Maybe if you give me 250, we don't got to do Danny and Earl on pay-per-view. Gervonta and Barrios don't got to be pay-per-view. Like Sean, you know, versus Earl don't got to be pay-per-view because you giving me the money to give Sean 2 million and give fucking Earl 8 million or whatever that is, because Earl's making bank, man. Like some of these fights gotta go on pay-per-view because these dudes are making bank. And people laugh at their pay-per-view numbers because they're not doing the math, you know. It's just
So speaking of PBC guys, one more question I have for you guys before I let you guys go. Keith Thurman doesn't know who Boots Ennis is. He says, I think it's I think that's a Showtime guy. Is that who it is? I'm not sure. I don't know who he is. Well, I think he knows who he is, but what's your guys' reaction to that, Mario? What's your reaction to that, brother?
I think that was a great troll. I think he was trolling him. You know, he knows Boots. You can't be on social media as much as my man used to be and not know. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a way of him, acknowledging by unacknowledging in a sense, and which is probably the best way to put it, because you recognize who he is and you recognize what he represents at this point to a lot of fans. Then you also recognize the validation of him as a fighter, which means now it's like, oh, we share the same ring. Like, he doesn't want that fight. He wants bigger, better fights that are going to make money.
Ness, what do you think, brother? He doesn't know who he is, bro.
Again, I'm just happy I made the right decision, man. 99% of my videos are becoming boxing news. I got the opportunity to see Javon at the Tank fight. Again, Tank bringing everyone out. Ugas was there. Got to see Ugas and the people Ugas hangs with.
Word. It's like an entourage.
About the late is his wife's friend.
Yeah.
They roll. That's for sure.
They roll.
She just became a citizen. Shout out to her. Congratulations.
That's what's up. Awesome.
Stuff.
So yeah, Ennis laughed. Obviously, the response to that Keith Thurman interview was out with Ennis's response, and I think Keith. I was shocked. I mean, I think you see my reaction. I was like, really? You don't know Ennis? He fights on Showtime, and like they're pushing him. So it never even crossed my mind what Mario said. Maybe he was trolling. Maybe he's like purposely doing that. And I guess it worked. Definitely he's got people upset. When we talk about comments, you read those comments and they are mad and saying this is exactly why you couldn't get the Earl fight. You did this to Earl, now you're doing it to Ennis. When Ennis blows up, don't beg for a fight. I mean, yeah, that's the one interview they didn't like of Keith. We dropped a lot of Keith stuff. He talked a lot, and he said, and he did fantastic. I got one that almost made $1 million with Keith, but like that's the one they didn't like. That's the one they didn't like hearing that he allegedly doesn't know who Ennis is. But I understand him. I'll say this. I mean, Keith is the true unified welterweight. He beat Danny and Sean first. He gets no credit. Somehow Earl is the greatest welterweight in the world for doing what Keith did after Keith
fought all his leftovers.
That's a good point. It's
a great point.
But for me,
and I think he beat Porter better than Spence did, in my opinion.
Yep.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I agree.
It wasn't as tight, and he didn't need a knockdown. That's for sure.
Right. Right. Like the Spence fight was a better fight, to watch, but.
No, I get what you're saying. I agree.
I don't know about better fight. I think that for me, I was heavily invested with
both of those fights were good.
I was heavily invested with Porter Thurman because of the sparring. Keith leaked the sparring to me that he had with Porter, which was the reason he based off getting the win. Like, yo, I beat this dude in sparring. I'm going to beat him again. And then the sparring dropped, and he was beating him in sparring, and then he beat him again. Damn. So I think I was more invested in that one than Porter versus Earl, even though Porter gave a hell of a fight. That was he really had me thinking he was about to beat Earl. That shit was close. That knockdown, man. I wonder, boxing politics would have showed his face. We all know that. We all know that. He don't get knocked down, they taking that from him. He ain't winning that fight. No way on the cards they let him get it.
Probably. I mean, they gave it to Bradley against Pacquiao the first time. You never know, but
you're right.
I scored that for Bradley. I did.
I scored that for Bradley too, Ness. I did too.
No, but what I'm saying is boxing politics didn't stop it. I mean,
well,
you're right.
I think that you're wrong. I think the politics did show up. Arum and the powers that be, they pulled the strings, bro. You kidding me? Yo,
here we go. They wanted Pacquiao to lose against Bradley.
Why exactly?
Trilogy.
Not a
You want me to
fucking
put-
trilogy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Gentlemen, understand something. He systematically kept Manny Pacquiao away from the greatest fighter of all time, allowed the public to believe it was Floyd avoiding Pacquiao while giving Pacquiao the most rematches in boxing history. Dude got 4 fights with Morales, 4 fights with Marquez, 3 fights with Bradley, fucking 2 fights with someone else. Like, dude, you kidding me? It was that shit was. Listen, did y'all? Oh my God,
Pacquiao's taking the most pictures doing this. That's for sure.
I love this. I love that my brain.
yeah, no shit, right?
Retain boxing information so well. I can't believe you guys are forgetting that Bob already had the posters. Remember?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
he had the.
I don't remember that. No.
Yeah, he had the
I do.
posters at the press release,
Style,
ready for the rematch. Like,
listen.
Oh, that's crazy.
Think about this.
yeah,
Think
that's a
about
lot of people were like, "Oh, set up," and
Think about this for 1 second. Think about this for when has a fighter finished fighting, right? Finished fighting, goes to the post-fight press conference in the same building, and the backdrop isn't the backdrop of the fight he just fought. Instead,
no, you're right.
the next one. Bro, they knew what was happening. They knew they were giving him a rematch. Bro, it mattered. And this is another thing. He got 5 for the first fight. Guaranteed 8 for the second. Why was that in the contract?
Damn.
Whoa.
Why the fuck is he getting a rematch anyway? Nobody else can get a goddamn rematch, but he getting a rematch.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Conspiracies on
It is. It is. But think about it. Tio didn't get a rematch for Loma, but you giving Timothy Bradley, who no one thought would win, a rematch clause.
I can't believe I forgot that.
I learned something today. I didn't know about that.
I remember
the second fight
remember
poster.
that.
Bro, he came in.
Okay.
They parked him in front of.
No, it was like a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, and that's I think what like in my mind it's like, oh, that was it was like nonsense.
Second fight, Mario was the wheelchair. The second fight, did he break his ankles in the second fight or the first?
Yeah,
fight?
it was
the
the
first
second
fight.
fight. So they were ready for.
Was it the
Wait,
first
fight?
fight?
He broke his ankle because
When
he
his
didn't
mom
work.
was
Yeah, it
doing like
was the-
crazy
yes.
shit.
Remember,
But
he was
she
like, I
broke
didn't work.
Bradley's
I thought that
ankles,
was all
bro.
the fights. Yo,
Bro,
that's burned in my
yeah.
head. Like I just see that
Pacquiao's
when I wake up
mom
now.
was like doing brujeria to this dude's ankles, bro.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah, no, that was some bruja shit. Yeah,
There's
for
more
sure.
evidence.
Listen,
There's more evidence that Pacquiao's mom did brujeria successfully to Bradley's ankles than Breland spiked Wilder's water. There's more evidence of it. Because I saw it with my eyes.
Yo, you're not lying.
Did you hear Colbert? He said they put tequila in it.
Don't get
He
a
put
beef
Hennessy
for
in
the
that
old
motherfucker?
Catholic lady, bro. Like you just don't want to do it. Don't get in a beef with an old Catholic lady. Don't do it.
No, for real, you're right.
Don't get the
Right.
Santos out. Don't get the brujeria out. You're done. Okay.
You're not lying. You are not lying.
Hey guys, I want to thank you guys for coming on, man. Mario and Ness from the Boxing Voice. Anything you got going on, Ness, before you leave, brother?
Shit, man. Only Border Wars, man. June. I'm about to give up the wrong date. The
I
date.
want to knock G Funky out. Can we set that up? I can knock this dude out over here.
I don't look like you're in the same weight class, man.
No, probably not. I'm gonna move around the ring. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna do.
He's gonna run. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, so we got Border Wars in Watertown, Wisconsin, September 18th, Saturday. It'll be streamed live on the BPE network. And we got a fantastic card, man. A lot of returning fighters. Our 2-belt champ, Marvin the Tank, he's back. Mario's back in a co-main event with Canadian Jose, a very popular caller in our community. So, yeah, man, we got Border Wars going on. And other than that, just grinding, man.
Commentating too. We're commentating fights.
We're commentating. I forgot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
July 16th and 17th in Atlanta. We're going to be doing TriStar Boxing and Southpaw Promotions. We'll be calling the Amari Jones fight. He signed a DHP Promotions. Also, Dakari Mack Truck Scott's going to be fighting on that card. He's 5-0 with 5 KOs. A couple other prospects. Derek Starling is going to be. Well, no, Starling's not on that card. He's on the South Carolina card.
Oh, that's right. He's on the yes, my bad.
But then we're back in Atlanta for July 31st with the BPE Promotions. We're calling that fight. and I'm excited. Aida Biggs is on that card. Christian Otero's on that card. Big Zeus Frazier, the 7-foot heavyweight that claims to be D-Style. You're the fucking boxing historian. You gotta find.
He's the tallest heavyweight of all time.
No,
Oh,
worse accusation, champ. He's saying he is the son, none other than Joe Frazier.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like legitimate son, or he just believes he's the son?
Bro, he got posted.
Remember, like a bunch of Trump fans were like, "I think I'm the son of Donald Trump." Like, bro, you're like 80, okay? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know, bro. If you go through his IG, homie is talking about like he got side by sides. Like, yo, me and my father. This is my.
They do that shit on that Maury show all the time. Look, you look like him, and it's like you're not the father. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Bro,
we need Maury on this shit, right? We need Maury.
Zeus Frazier. I don't know. Listen. I'm just excited. He's 7-foot heavyweight. We'll see.
You got to get Maury on the Boxing Voice, and he's got to do it live. Like you are, and then just
you are not the son.
Well, he's sponsored by Ancestry DNA. They're gonna do a short. No, I'm playing. No, I'm just playing.
interesting.
Just get the cameraman to run back when somebody goes running.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. Hey, Mario, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, brother.
You can find me at Mario Munguia on Twitter and on Instagram. It's the same, so works out easy.
There you go. And that's so everybody knows where to find you. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Boxing Voice.
Man, Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO is my personal, and at the Boxing Voice on all forms of social media. I want to thank you guys for having us on, man. Appreciate it. It was absolutely fun. And like I've told D-Style, G-Funky, you guys, I would love to get you guys on our panel. I'm trying to
love it.
Out a day with Beeb. Beeb is the hardest guy to get down. I want to get y'all all on.
I was trying to get him on right now, but probably asleep. He's an old man.
I think we need to, have a
reunion.
A reunion, yeah.
A reunion, round table, talk some boxing. I don't know. Maybe we should plan. If we're not in Vegas, because for the Wilder fight, I think we should do the live fight chat together. Imagine that. All watching that together. You call everybody calling in what we see.
That would be dope.
Listen, Wilder. I think that's why he stopped fucking with me too. If you watch the live fight chat, I'm like, yo, stop the fight. I'm saying it because who wasn't saying that? Who wasn't feeling that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So when the towel came in, when the towel came in, it was like, my man ain't gonna get killed. So it would be good to see, because if he could turn it back around, one of my callers, they always say that, like LV Slugger, right? And you're the perfect person to ask. You got more history on your cap than me, right? So if Wilder were to beat Tyson Fury, would this be the only like 4-fight heavyweight match of this caliber ever?
What do you mean 4-fight heavyweight?
Like they have 4 fights.
4 fights,
like
bro.
Trilogy.
Like you think they're gonna fight a 4th time, bro? Like,
brother,
it would be yes. The answer is yes. Because
listen to me. If Deontay Wilder knocks out Tyson Fury, the Fury fans will say, "Well, he beat him twice anyway, and y'all robbed him." Okay,
right.
That 4th fight will be there for them.
We probably will see a 4th fight.
If we get Pacquiao like that's 4 times, we damn sure.
Bro, we might get a best out of 7. Like,
he won. This one's a World Series, a Fury Wild World Series.
Yeah, the answer is yes. And the reason I know that is because I remember when they were talking about on HBO how, because Holyfield beat Ruiz and Ruiz beat Holyfield, then it fought to a draw, and they were talking about, they might be the first ever time, a 4th fight. So the answer would be yes.
Dang, you got a good ass memory.
Man, 4 fights, bro. God,
that'd be crazy to see.
That'll only work if he's got a.
You can't take a risk with a puncher like that 4 times, bro. He's gonna catch you with that right hand at some point.
He already did twice.
I think Fury.
Good point. You're right, G.
I think Fury already got the answer to the right hand, man. He rolled them shots in the second fight.
Look, Tank caught Barrios a bunch of times before the knockout, but you always get caught with the one. You know what I mean?
You're right.
With the iron. Like I don't think Wilder's he's hit him one time with a nice flush shot and he put him down for like 9 seconds. So,
but that was in the first fight. And think about this. No one in Wilder history has ever gotten up like that. Not like forget the 12th round, because people get caught up in the 12th. Man, who the fuck gets up in last?
Well,
No one gets up last. No one gets up and sits to the 12th round. Like when they get up, they're woozy, they're punch drunk, they physically look wounded, and he pounces on you. That's when he gets Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But they don't last. Like I've never seen no one get up the way the Fury got up in them 2 fights. And then guess what? The second fight, he didn't even go down. He rolled every right hand. Like, I don't know, man. Wilder gonna have to prove it this time around. You gotta
remember something, Ness. The referee was a long count, bro. I mean, he was counting like the 20, you know? I mean,
it could have been the 20, but he still didn't get up and have
I'm only joking.
Well, guys, again, I want to thank you, man, and I'll see if I can get you up this week, Ness.
For sure.
Thank you, brother.
Man.
All right, guys. Peace out, guys.
All right.
Peace. See you later, guys.
All right, guys. There you go, man. Our friends at the Boxing Voice. Everybody subscribe to the Boxing Voice if you're not already. A couple more things to touch on here, Chief Funky. All right, just a couple more things. Well, Julio Cesar Martinez. We got David Morrell, the Mexican over here, the Cuban on this side. To you, and I want to know. Well, we would. I mean, you know, Martinez is a little too small for him. You know, if they were to fight. But to you, who's the Hispanic Causin panic of the week? I want to know what the chat thinks as well. Out of those two guys, no draws allowed. And if you have another name, you could throw that to the mix if you want, of course. But out of those two or anybody else, who's the Hispanic Causin panic of the week? Uncle Ruben doesn't count.
You telling me I can't vote for Casares? You know. But no, in all seriousness, man, this is a tough one, man, because Morrell put that dude to put him out. You know, put him in the hospital. I believe he was, from what I understand, he was in a stretcher after the fight, and so he was seriously hurt. Man, I'd have to give a slight edge to El Rey Martinez because that dude's a badass, you know, and I feel like he's man, he's all action, all gas, no breaks. Man, I love that dude. Doesn't mind to get hit, and that's what we all like in fights. You know, we all like that type of stuff. So it's a tough one, man. It could go either way, but if someone put a gun to my head, I'm gonna have to go with Martinez. But I'm not mad either way. If you pick Morrell, I'm good with that too.
I see how that gun on him. You know what I mean? I have to make sure. I'm gonna have to go with Morrell, man, because in my opinion, that's probably a knockout of the year. I don't want to take anything away from Valdez, and that was a higher profile fight, so it'll probably beat it out. But in terms of just like how he set it up and knocked him out in the first round like that, I think that was a hell of a knockout. Top 2 for sure. Top knockouts of the year. So I'm gonna have to go with Morrell. So chat, let me know who you got. Let us know who's the Hispanic Causin panic of the week. And next week, of course, we'll be talking about who's the Hispanic Causin panic of the month. So you must stay tuned. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button so you're notified every time Stop Boxing comes on live. Subscribe to Chief Funky Boxing as well. But that's it.
And don't get lazy in the chat, guys. Let us know. All right. I see my boy. Shout out to my boy Black and Brown. I see you out there. Make sure you get your vote in. All right. We want to know who you guys think is the Hispanic Causin panic of the week.
Definitely. Also, hit my like button to get me to 60 likes. We're almost there. You guys, showed up yesterday with the likes as well. We appreciate that. We got to 60 yesterday. Let's get a 60 today. By the end of the show, we got Boxer on the HLD, Black and Brown Boxing, Shadow Ghost. Black and Brown and Shadow Ghost, by the way, have channels. Make sure you guys subscribe. Ignorant Boxing on here. Feliciano, Outlaw, H Money. Subscribe to H Money. Shout out to H Money out there. All you guys, no Paul Boxianos, of course. Let's talk about this. Morrell is winning out. It looks like he's going to be the Hispanic Causin panic of the week. Plus, it was on free TV. A lot of people saw it, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Frank Sanchez, speaking from a Cuban to a Cuban, Frank Sanchez out from the Canelo team over there with Eddie Reynoso. Raw Boxing TV, by the way, subscribe. He has an interview. You guys could go check that out if you ever get a chance. With Frank Sanchez, Cuban. He's going to be facing hard-hitting Efe Ajagba, right, in the stacked undercard of heavyweights, July 24th. That's the Fury 3, the Fury Wilder 3. That's an all-heavyweight action pack. Reminds me of those Don King days. I can't wait, man. It's one of those, man, every one of those, like, you ever watch a fight like, man, that shot would have killed me. Oh, that one would have put me for sure in the hospital. Oh, that one would have put me 6 feet under. That was a hell of a shot. That's heavyweight boxing, ladies and gentlemen. This is a hell of a heavyweight box, heavyweight card, I mean. Well, what do you make of this matchup, bro? It looks like it might be the opener. It's a hell of a fight, in my opinion. Well, what do you make of it?
Great fight, man. This is going to be all action, guaranteed knockout. And you know what? We got to give PBC some credit, man. You know, do they put on a lot of pay-per-views that shouldn't be pay-per-view? Absolutely. But this one here, man, what a card. All heavyweights. Also, Kawanaki's on there in a rematch with the guy he lost to. Can't remember his name right now. I'm getting old, guy. He's going to have to forgive me. But, man, Sanchez versus Ajagba, what a good fight that's going to be. For as long as it lasts, you know, and believe me, it ain't going to go 12. This fight is not going 12, guys. So make sure that you get your beer, your popcorn, your snacks, whatever it is you're eating. Make sure you have that right there because this fight can end at any time. You know, I think both guys can crack. If I'm going to favor somebody in this fight, I'm going to favor Sanchez. I feel like he's just a better overall boxer. But Ajagba's got that power, you know. There's just something missing with Ajagba, and I can't put my finger on it. You know, there's a lot of things I like about him, but there's just something there that I don't know. Something, like I said, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing for me to just get behind him and say, I think he can do some things. I don't see him winning this fight, though. I'm going with Sanchez.
Okay. All right. It's a dangerous fight to Shadow Ghost. The fight should end by KO, bro. I think the whole night might end by KOs. I mean, it's a hell of a fight card, man. I'm telling you. And usually I look at heavyweight fights, funky, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. But these fights are good, though. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I kind of wish Andy Ruiz was on his undercard against, even if it was Arreola. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been great, man. But I think, you know what? I think they know that there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, feel like, okay, I see what I needed to see. So I don't know if I want to buy this one, but like now this is like enticing. Like, well, all right, you know, it might get some hardcores to fork out the money. And I think at this point, PBC's also, not PBC or ESPN, whoever is putting on this event knows they want return customers. They want people to return, you know, to boxing and keep buying pay-per-views or watching the sport. They know they got to start. There is an art to pleasing the fans so they could come back. That's how restaurants work. You could charge somebody a shitload of money for a plate, but if it tastes like shit, are they going to go back to that restaurant? No. But if it tastes good, not only are they going to come back, they're going to recommend it to people. They're going to be like, hey, you got to go check out this restaurant. Go eat. Well, that's what we need out of boxing. We need people to say, hey, man, this is a great spot. This is a great sport. Go watch it. You know what I mean? That's what we need in the sport. So yep. I'm looking forward to this fight.
Yeah, good fight. And like you said, good card, man. All heavyweights. And then we got the grudge match for the main event. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. You know, obviously I wanted undisputed first, but, you know, we get this one out the way. And like I said, they stacked the card, man. So that's always a good thing especially for the hardcores like us. You know, I don't know about you, D-Style, but anytime somebody would invite me to their house for the fight party, you know, I'm always the first motherfucker to show up because I need to see all the fights. I'm not just there for the main event. I need to see every single one of the fights, you know. Here's
the best part. You get the seat you want while everyone's over there talking and you're good and you're watching the fight, you're good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You want some nachos? Sure, but just right here. Thank you. You know what I mean? So that's how that goes, man. Can't wait. That's definitely a carne asada type of day to watch some boxing. You know what I mean? With some Modelo or something, you know, or Pacifico, whatever it is. Sit down, chill, have a beer, and enjoy it. Okay, that's what it's all about, guys. You got to tune into Hispanics, Causin Panic 64th edition. G-Funky, October. We were speaking about trilogies earlier, right?
Yep.
Gonzalez, Estrada. Bro, El Gallo versus Chocolatito número 3. Now, we were being called toxic because, you know, we felt it was a close fight. But that aside, Well, what do you make of the fight, brother? I mean, this is a fight to look forward to. We had to wait a while for the second one. We don't gotta wait that long for this one, which is good for Chocolatito because he's not getting any younger. So I say let's do it.
Yeah. And, I find that a little convenient that, they're getting an immediate rematch here for the third one because I know most people out there, there's, Chocolatito's got a lot of fans. They all feel like he got robbed. I don't believe that. I think it was a close fight. Could have went either way, but I scored it for El Gallo Estrada. But we felt the same way back when they first fought. Okay. We all felt like that was a close fight and they have to run it back. But it took years to run that shit back. Years, And again, people complaining about the scorecards. Nobody was complaining about those scorecards. And there were some lopsided cards in that first fight. That was not what happened in the fight. But, again, I didn't hear any Chocolatito fans complaining then, But anyway, it's a good fight. I'm glad we're going to get the third one because I feel like it's necessary. There's too much back and forth. Hopefully we get a stoppage. I'm hoping for a stoppage because I don't want to go back and forth with a bunch of toxic motherfuckers. And one in particular who came around, you guys are toxic. You scored the fight for Estrada because you're Mexican and all this dumb shit, I hope there's a stoppage so there's no ifs, ands, or buts about the scoring. And I'm excited, man. Like I said, I know a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine from Nicaragua. They always love when Chocolatito fights, and that just makes the fight more special for me,
Absolutely. That's going to be a hell of a fight to watch. October, ladies and gentlemen, the Trilogy. It must be the year of the trilogies because here it comes. You know what I mean? And I'm already hearing whispers that we might get the trilogy of Andy Ruiz against Joshua if that Usyk fight doesn't happen. I don't know if that's true, but you never know, right? So, hey, Calix Boxing in the building tomorrow. Make sure you catch Power Punchers on Calix Boxing. Make sure you subscribe to Calix Boxing. All right, Boxer on there. How's it going, brother? Sonteo Mira Tóxica by Dos Carnales. How's it going, brother? You know what I mean? But that's the way it was, bro. Like Gallo won the fight. And they're like, ay, me duele mi corazón. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Ay, es que son tóxicos. Like, let me tell you something, brother. Right? Look, I was very honest. I scored the fight 7-5 for Chocolatito, but I know there was a lot of close rounds. Yeah. There was some rounds where I was like, oh, man, who would I give this round to? It was that close of a fight. It's got to be honest. You know what I mean? So it could have gone either way, in my opinion. I scored it for Chocolatito, but it was close. And I had Gallo winning the fight. That was my official prediction, okay? I just want to throw that out there now. You know what I mean? Don't get mad at me now, Chief. You got people out here trying to do brujeria on these boxing like Pacquiao's mom, bro. Just because I'm giving my opinion on it. I'm out here giving my opinion. And I just see a bunch of dudes that doing brujeria on me, like Tandra Abuelita to do brujeria anti-style boxing. But don't do that. Right? Is that why I almost fell down yesterday when I went for a run?
Nah, you better be careful.
Whoa,
man.
You know what I mean? Like there was no pothole.
Stay home for a little bit. COVID's still out there.
No, I'm just saying, brother. You know what I mean? But anyway, so obviously we have plenty of time to get to that fight, and we will get there and we'll talk about it. And here on HCP, we actually talked about it. A lot of boxing channels didn't talk about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But here we're going to continue to talk about it because we're not Johnny Come Lately's on here, okay? We're not. Yeah. Well, we're not llegando tarde Joshueces. That's not us. Like, I don't even know if that's the right word for Johnny, but nonetheless, right? But still, I'm just saying. Anyway, one more topic for us, you funky. One more topic, man. We're at 60. 4 more. Are we going to get to, by the end of the, are we going to get to 70 likes? Are we going to get there?
Oh, baby, 4 more, like the 4 horsemen, baby.
I feel like we might get, I don't know if we're going to get there now. You know what I mean? But help us get there. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we had 6 people lurking in the shadows. Hit the thumbs down, so, you know.
Yeah, it's all good. Ay, es porque me duele lo que dijeron en HCP. Los hispánicos causando pánico en mi corazón. Like, you know, the fuck out of here, bro. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Okay, that one's for Coco the Don. All right? But check it out. One more point. okay, let's say, because even I feel Chocolatito edged it out, but I concede it could have gone either way, right? Do you feel it could have gone either way? Right?
The first fight or second fight?
Second fight.
Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of swing rounds, and that's typical with these little guys. They throw so many punches,
If it's this, es porque los jueces, mi corazón. Like, what was that for the first fight?
Exactly.
What do you mean? You only want those?
There was none of that, man. That's the problem.
None of that.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of crying. A lot of crying after the rematch, but these guys didn't want to say nothing about that first fight,
Ay, mi corazón. But anyway, I just gotta say that one time, once I have the switchboard ready, which I should by next week, just press a button, it'll do it for me, you know what I mean? But anyway. So look, everybody, check it out. Manny Pacquiao's giving us that thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those that came about the Colbert, you could always go on archive after the show and check it out. But check it out. Manny Pacquiao's giving us a thumbs up. There's a lot of misinformation. It might be because it is a little bit of a complicated situation. Okay. Boxing Scene reports, Jake Donovan, he wrote an article, by the way, about, the lawsuit and all that. You guys could check that out. But Boxing Scene's Ryan Burden put the article. You guys could check it out. MP Promotions, that's Manny Pacquiao Promotions, has already confirmed 1,000%, right? Which means 100%, but 1,000% sure. Hey, man, the fight's going to happen. Manny's literally training for the fight right now. He's going to go to Wild Card soon in LA. Dude's training. Like, there's no, like, what if, and will it happen? Will it not happen? And they're saying the fight's going to happen. So what's the confusion? The confusion, it lies in the fact that some fans out there have been saying that Pacquiao's trying to get out of the fight, right? First, it was the VADA thing. Oh, Pacquiao, he doesn't want to do VADA. The guy that put out that story and ended up recanting it, saying, I made a mistake. Okay, well, I would hope a lot of the channels that accused Pacquiao not wanting to do a test would apologize. That's not going to happen, so let's forget about that one.
Right.
Now it's being suggested that Pacquiao wants out of this fight. Why would he sign to fight Spence? The fight was not pressured to. He was not a mandatory. Okay, why would he sign to fight him and then pull out of the fight? That makes no sense,
exactly.
Right? So people are asking, well, what does Mikey Garcia have anything to do with anything, right? So the group that Manny Pacquiao signed with, okay, this was the same group that handles, Conor McGregor and stuff like that. Said that they were trying to work a deal for him to sign with the Zone. All right. They're arguing that, look, Manny did not owe anything to PBC. He didn't have to fight with PBC again. It was a 2-fight contract, but it was only a second fight if that fight was against Floyd, but it wasn't. Right. A bunch of mumble jumble that nobody really cares about. But that's the key thing. He's not trying to pull out of the fight. It's the partner that he signed with that is suing because they're not part of this event, and they obviously want distribution of a Manny Pacquiao fight. I mean that's pretty much what it is. All right, but they're saying that the fight is 100% on. It's gonna happen. Not to worry about. Now, obviously, there might be some things we don't know about behind closed doors. But Chief Funky, what's your reaction to this?
Oh man, I got a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you after the whole Fury Anthony Joshua debacle with Deontay Wilder and all that crap. And look, man, I'm not a lawyer. Never try to be one. Never gonna try to pretend to be one. I don't know anything about these contracts that go out there. And to be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit what's in the contract. As long as the fucking fight happens, that's all I care about. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a fan. But yeah, I think it's fucking silly. He's trying to pull out of the fight and all this other shit. Like, Manny Pacquiao is in the position where he can fight anybody he wants. All right. He chose to fight Spence. All right. I know that these guys don't like to hear that because they think Spence is the biggest draw in boxing, which he's not. We've already debunked that. But he was chosen by Pacquiao. Okay. He could have fought him. He could have fought Crawford. He could have fought a Mikey Garcia. He could have fought whoever he wanted to. He could have went off and fought one of these weird fucking video game guys on YouTube and made a bunch of money, but he wanted to fight one of the best welterweights in the world, which is Earl Spence. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that these guys would say something like that. And I just hope that they get all this shit cleared and the fight happens because, you know, I'm kind of changing my stance on the fight. You know, at first I thought about it. I'm like, man, I don't know. But, you know, Pacquiao, you know, if I see some videos of him, he still looks fast, still looks strong. I mean, at 42 years old, my only problem is this, man. He's been out of the ring a long time. It's going to be over 2 years he's been out of the ring. We've seen guys come in rusty, you know. Can Pacquiao, you know, can he dig it out? Can he power through that rust, that ring rust, and pull it out against Earl Spence? I mean, I think he's got a good shot, man. The more and more I'm thinking about it, the more and more I'm thinking like there are some things that I think Pacquiao can exploit in a Spence fight. So you lawyers and everybody else who's involved in this this contract dispute, get this shit figured out quickly. So there's no pushing back of the date or there's no cancellation of the fight. None of that, man. Just get the shit done.
This group was trying to make a Mikey Garcia fight, which I actually was kind of looking forward to. I might have been the minority in that, but I thought that
good fight.
That would have been a hell of a fight. Like, I just do, like Marcus type shit. But, you know, he decided to go with the Spence route, which is the tougher fight. That's without a shot. There ain't no reason Manny Pacquiao, like, other than, yeah, I'm just going to go for the iron, right? I'm going to go for that brass ring. That's what he wants to do. And one more question I have for you, just something that just hit me that I haven't talked about, actually. Manny Pacquiao clapped back to Floyd, saying, nah, bruh, the one that's fighting for money is you. I could fight whoever the fuck I want. I'm going to fight a tough fight with Errol Spence. I'm not doing it for money. You're the one fighting for money, right? Now, obviously, he didn't say it like that, but you know, it's not verbatim, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Because Pacquiao doesn't talk like that, like bruh, like, you know what I mean? But but what do you make of that clap back from Floyd Mayweather Jr.?
I like it, man, because he's right. He could have fought Jake Paul while this guy fought his brother Logan Paul. You know, he could have easily done something like that, but he didn't. You know, he's deciding to take on, like I said, one of the best welterweights in the world right now. So that's something to be respected. You know, so yeah, Floyd is just, you know, again, just throwing shots at Pacquiao because, you know, obviously we know he beat him when they fought, and you know, credit to Floyd, he won the fight.
Shouldn't he just be content and happy with that?
He should be, but you know, we know what the deal is with this guy. I mean, this guy walks around with a fake beard and hair, you know, and 50 gold chains. Like, he just, you know, there's some weird things going on with this guy, you know. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I really don't take anything Floyd says serious. He's already putting up roadblocks for Tank Davis. Like, I'm just getting sick and tired of honestly hearing him talk about anything, man. I want him to just go away, enjoy your money, do whatever it is you do with it, and just go away, man.
Just go away, Floyd. What are you doing, Floyd? Because, like, the last thing I want to say about this, think about it, guys. Just think about it. Why would Floyd, okay? I mean, why would Manny pick, like, the toughest welterweight if he just needed money? Like that makes no sense. Like, does he want to get paid for fighting Errol Spence? Hell yeah, of course he wants to get paid for that. You know what I mean? You know, but that's not why. You know what I mean? But by the way, the chains, bro, the chains, bro. We saw Baby Nuts of the Week. That motherfucker would have won it. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta call Uncle Ruben, bro. Take that dude. Like, I don't know, man. I feel bad for kicking him out of the show, and you know what I mean.
But you were mean, bro. You know.
I was being kind of mean to the guy, you know what I mean? But, you know, he came at me too. But, you know, unfortunately, he was a man of his word, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, that's all I got to say, man. With that said, Chief Funky, we've had a hell of a show. I want to thank Ness and Mario for coming on here, bro, right after they finished a long show, and to give us some great stuff there and all that. Give everybody your final thoughts, Chief Funky.
Yeah, just, you know, I want to say this, man. Thanks to everybody who watched, who stuck around. Shout out to Ness and Mario from the Boxing Voice. Subscribe to those guys. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are. I've been subscribed to them for a long, long time. So, you know, thanks to those guys. And I just want to say this before I close out, man. Unfortunately, Chris Colbert is going to get some backlash. We already know it for what he said. But, hey, we got to give us the real fight. Yeah. My chest. I got a pain in my chest. Yeah, just we got to support the fighters that come out and speak the truth. We got to give them our support. And I just want to say salute to you, Colbert, for being honest, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let these other guys try to make you seem like it's a bad thing to be honest, And I got a lot of respect for the kid for that, So let's go, Chris Colbert, this weekend. He's a good, exciting young fighter too, So that's really all I got to say. Make sure that you guys tune into the Roundtable Thursday, Power Punchers as well, and let's go, baby. HCP.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. Tomorrow, Calix Boxing, Power Punchers. There'll be no Al Chile tonight. You know what I mean? So, busy times, busy things happen. But shout out to A-Rod either way. We'll be back Al Chile next week, okay? This is D-Style Boxing. You guys keep it boxing.